So there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about. Do you have a moment? Yeah. So I wrote things down because I can't remember things. So I want to apologize for anything hurtful that I said, for yelling. Um, I know that you got into this just as blindly as me, as far as not having prior knowledge or experience with dentistry as far as restorative work is concerned. I know that you made efforts to look into the different types of teeth stuff, and that shows me that you do care and that you didn't go into this blindly with the intention of ever hurting me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been doing that. Your actions demonstrate that. However, like, this stuff has had serious ramifications on my life. I said this stuff, the surgery stuff, has had huge ramifications in my life. For one, when Bogerin, he did his treatment plan, the beginning day, I was going through surgery every 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know if that's normal. If when we met with the American surgeons, we met and we were discussing a year treatment plan. And while I get on your end and on most people's end, it's like, oh, you want to get it done, but like, that was hell. I would go through surgery, like 3 root canals and 2 extractions. And you guys didn't see me during that time, but John, my boyfriend, he saw me and I would be like in tears. I wouldn't be at a functional level, and I could barely eat because, have gaping holes in your mouth. It wasn't a matter of, oh, I can't eat soft food. It was a matter of, I just had major surgery. I had blood everywhere and stuff. And poor John, I broke with him because he was kind of a lost puppy dog. But I will say this, his family looked out for me, even though they didn't have the resources to do so. But, I never would have signed up for this had I known that this guy would essentially con you, befriend you, and that to the extent that he gave you a professional bonding agent. That is so unethical as far as I'm concerned. Here's bonding agent so that your daughter can go ahead and fix my negligent work. And what you may or may not be aware of is every single time I went back to Bogerin by myself, I've been recording and documenting this stuff since from the beginning. He always blamed me somehow. I have one of his last favorite things that he said to me was, oh, this will either break in your mouth or it's going to break your jaw if it breaks. That's not normal. And every single time I went back to him, I would have a pretty good idea of what probably would have been a more effective remedy. Like, I paid attention to the prostheses where they break. And so I would make suggestions, but I would try to make it seem like, I never came at him in a combative way or this is what you should do. I know dentistry. But every single time he just disregarded anything I had to say. And also, if I came with a list of questions, there were times when he would just ignore me. He'd pretend like he didn't hear. And I'm like, so that guy, as far as I'm concerned, he was so unethical. And part of why I think that he got so many great reviews, one thing I'm not sure if you paid attention to, but most of the people that were being treated in his office were being treated for root canals. They were being treated for routine implants, which are different from the sort of things that I had to go through. So he probably didn't have the qualifications to pick up my case. Also, I was reflecting on this. I write Yelp reviews. I'm not sure if you're aware. I've written tons of reviews. I have the power to change the business's average, meaning I can help a business gain money or take away their business. And I'm more than happy to do so. But someone goes to Mexico, they have botched job surgery. They go have LASIK, they have someone inject concrete into their boob instead of silicone. They're probably gonna be so panic stricken trying to figure out, how am I gonna get my eyeball to not fall out of my head? Or how am I gonna get a different doctor? They're gonna be having to do the footwork necessary to do that. So they're not gonna be thinking about, oh, I should put this review on Yelp. I found it a little strange though, when I tried to submit a negative review for Bogerin. Never had this happen before. App glitched out 4 times. I already copied and pasted the whole thing just in case that happened. I couldn't submit it through a browser. Yelp glitched out, which I was like, that's weird. they have, these things are not coincidence. I write for Yelp, but they're not just without their own, we're a capitalist country. They have their own reasons for supporting certain businesses, but for the most part, they're pretty reliable. That being said, I looked into federal oversight in Mexico, and it's not that they don't have like OSHA. I spoke with Dr. Torres about it, and I was a little bit put off by the fact that he didn't seem to care that, I asked him personally, I said, how do you guys communicate amongst yourselves about doctors? Like, are there certain doctors that you guys kind of know are bad, and do you tell patients not to go? And it's just kind of like, he was very lackadaisical. It made me lose a little respect for him. He's just kind of like, oh, there's bad doctors. So what? I thought that he'd be more interested in wanting to communicate with patients and look out for patients from having botched job surgery. But as you and I both saw, there's so many damn doctors. Just in that medical building alone, there were hundreds treating different things. So that's a whole other thing. Like, what you guys don't know is that when I leave here, I don't have some double party life. My life's been put on hold because of this. During the times when I had no teeth in my mouth day, and you guys, for whatever reason, were uncomfortable with seeing me drilling my own teeth in, if I hadn't done that, I would have been left with prostheses that were cutting into my gums that felt like a million razor blades stabbing me. At times, the last surgery, March 26th, he left me with such severe chemical burns, I couldn't drink water for 3 days. So, like, when I tried to initiate conversation within the past couple months, where I literally tried to draw a line in the sand, but also communicate, say, hey, I don't want to fight with you guys. That's not within my nature. But, like, the continued kind of maltreatment in the form of just the simple things, kind of insinuating the locking me out, making it seem like, oh, we don't want your friends breaking the house. I don't have friends. I am just as lonely as you guys. I realize Jim Poirier he's at Harmony Grove, La Jolla Village. Abuelita is, pretty much dying. She has dementia. These things aren't lost on me. However, you guys are at a huge advantage. You have money. You have access to professional help. If you could get a therapist, you have the ability to do so, which I would recommend. I don't want you guys to suffer any more than I want the next person to suffer. I sincerely don't wish you guys harm. I don't think that you're bad people. However, it communicates a really confusing message to me when you guys can, like, say something mean or be dismissive when I have to pack up all my property in my car, not having any place to go, having to leave here. I don't go out and mingle with people. I don't know what to talk about. I've had to go through this shit, and I'm still going through it. Just because you don't see me, like, in moments of pain doesn't mean I have pain. I don't have pain any more than I didn't have pain at the beginning of this process when you told me you would give me pain meds. But it's like if I didn't ask for medicine within the first 6 hours, you were so dismissive. And I get it, you're trying to kind of protect me. You have very conservative views when it comes to narcotic pain meds. I'm not going to disregard that. That's your own views on things. But this has been hell. And having to go through surgery with inadequate lidocaine, that's not a small thing, Daddy. That's like pretty major shit. And like when I've really looked back on it, just the differences in the favoritism in this family wasn't that big a deal. One Christmas you gave Charlie was the one that got all the presents. And even Charlie started looking uncomfortable. It was all baseball related. It's all baseball because you're very you like pro sports, and that, which is part of why I didn't think twice about entrusting you for help with the surgery stuff. I acknowledge that there are years of things that I did to you guys that maybe it's irreparable harm. Maybe it's irreparable. However, I've never formally apologized to you or Mommy, but I have gone and talked to Vanessa and most of the other family members, because I don't think that talk is enough to make up for all the different things that I put you guys through. Because when I really thought about it, yeah, I stole from you guys, but it wasn't about the property that I stole. I can't change the fact that I wasn't physically present to just show up as a family member. I wasn't a big sister to Vanessa. I wasn't a little sister to Heidi. I was in my own world. And at the time though, I was living in a blind spot. Addiction is a messed up thing. Had I had access to resources, had I met someone sooner, had I had negative ramifications sooner, maybe I wouldn't have lasted as long. That's something I can never take back. It's something I carry huge amounts of shame and humiliation over, because I still feel like I'm significantly behind the grade as far as like what other people know how to do versus my just basic life skills. But that being said, doesn't mean I haven't made progress over the years. I have had to put so much work into getting to this place where, for me, it's not nothing. I can't get caught up in the shame, beating myself up for things that have already happened, because that's what keeps people trapped. That's what keeps people stuck in addiction, is because people think that drug addicts and alcoholics aren't aware of their behavior. No. I'll say right now, there are things that I've done that will forever haunt me, that I personally will never forgive myself for. Things that I've done to you guys, or humiliating, just, oh my God, it got so bad that I was crawling through the window to steal change from Vanessa's piggy bank, or making duplicate copies of all your guys' car keys after I totaled my car, blacked out, wasted, and more importantly, like, I damaged trust. I robbed you guys of peace of mind. I know there were times that I disappeared for weeks at a time because I didn't give a shit. But the thing that you guys don't realize is that I never forget these things. I didn't show up for graduations. And there was a lot of damage on my end that I had to deal with that, towards the end, I ended up having to face, I was in scenarios where I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to be around people that are doing these things. And also the drugs just stopped, that whole scene stopped being for me. But in order for me to get out of that drug scene, it wasn't just a matter of, oh, I'm not going to call that person and get drugs. That became a part of my identity. That's who I thought I was. I thought I was damaged goods. I thought I was just a drug addict and a thief. And it took me going out to Poway, being essentially rescued by Mikey. Mikey and I didn't kick off as boyfriend-girlfriend. Mikey met me at a depression support group, and he didn't know me personally. He reached out to me, and I was creeped out by it initially. We hung out one time, and he ended up saying, I don't know you. I know you don't know me, but I have a 3-bedroom house in Poway. You are welcome to live there rent-free. You can have your own room. I don't expect anything in return. And initially I said no. I was like, I don't want to deal with the creepy factor of what is in it for me. That was never anything that I ever crossed as far as lines. Even when I was in my drug addiction, there'd be times I'd run out of gas or need a jump start. I had creepy guys, oh yeah, or just even drug deals. This isn't necessary information for me to reveal, but guys that, here, I'll give you free drugs. And I'd say, no, I'm going to pay for it. Because there's a lot of people that cross that line. Taylor, there's reasons Taylor and I have grown apart over the years. I had to rescue Taylor from situations, and I don't need to know the specifics. Taylor's a whole other story. She operates from a different place. I've had to distance myself from Taylor, be wrestled at times with, do I involve myself, do an intervention, call the police, because of certain things I know Taylor has done or been involved with out of concern for public safety, out of concern for her dad, who's back in the hospital. Her dad's not going to live forever. As far as I'm concerned, there are moments where I wish Taylor was dead because of the amount of complete lack of regret that she has, the complete lack of accountability that she has for having taken a human life. And I'm never forget for a second that after Judy died, Taylor and I both fell apart the same way. We may have been in different places of San Diego, but I never forget when I ran a red, when I fell asleep at the wheel, I was rushing back to Poway to try to, I didn't realize it at the time. I was going through hell. I was trying to keep up with this adult life that had taken years for me to adapt to while relapsing on meth. because it was killing me. Everyone around me didn't know Judy. When I spoke to people back here in La Jolla, every person I talked to was like, people die, like kind of get over it. I didn't realize I was going through serious grief I still haven't really addressed formally in therapy. And I couldn't maintain that. I couldn't do it. I was doing drugs again, and I crossed the line and did things that I promised myself I would never do. I will never forgive myself for showing up high to work and seeing the student I worked so hard to get trust. He was one of my most difficult students, but he didn't know I was high on drugs, but I was so sleep deprived that I could barely speak correctly. And I'll never forget like the look of confusion and then the look of like disappointment when I couldn't be there for that kid. When I worked so hard to gain these kids' trust, and the one kid that like I was like his person, I couldn't make up a bullshit excuse because I don't even remember how I didn't formally tell my students, hey, Miss Jessica's leaving. But I just stopped being able to function. But what you guys don't know also is that after the accident happened, I don't know what the time space in which that occurred, but I had nightmares after my accident. I had nightmares right after my accident, the difference between me and Taylor. Well, for one, I know that Taylor, for a fact, she didn't work as hard at learning a lot of different stuff like I did. I got my ass kicked by my sponsor. I did more work in AA in 2 weeks' time than some people would ever get done. She picked me up from this house at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we worked together. She was essentially my teacher, and she had me do various things through the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. She took me through all 12 steps. I had people I was sponsoring at a different point in time. I made my amends, which means I did an inventory, and the inventory, a fourth step, was the part that started changing my perspective on how I've been living my life. Because I seriously used to think that I was the victim. I hated the government, fuck the police. I blamed a lot of other people for various things. I was holding on to stuff or making excuses or coming up with reasons to justify really selfish behavior. It took me working with someone else that had a new perspective on things for me to change, but also it took them coming at me in a very non-judgmental way. This woman, she will forever be an angel in my heart, Marie Cross, because she did something for me that I still look back and I didn't feel like I was deserving of the amount of patience, the amount of trust she showed me. She lived in a nice house. She lived in Pacific Beach. She was in her 50s, very calm, confident, not.
Is she still your sponsor?
No, she moved. She moved to another state.
You
But
have another sponsor?
no, and I still live by the principles of the program. I don't go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings all the time. I still go, but I have my own thing with them, and I don't ever claim to be sober. I'm not interested in being completely sober off all substances. I don't believe that you need to not drink. For me, I'm not an alcoholic, but that being said, I do realize there's destructive things that can happen with addiction. That being said, I work my butt off, but I've also developed a new relationship with substances where I don't worry about it because I still have things that I'm working regularly towards, things that you guys don't know anything about because you don't really talk to me about my life. And this is what I also want to acknowledge though. You guys have raised 5 kids. You guys are tired. I've been busting your ass for years. That's not nothing. You know, there are things that I did in my younger years. I was selfish, you know, granted I was a kid, but you know, there are stupid things I remember that popped up in my head when I worked at Alpha Project all the time. And I was just like, oh, well, karma's a bitch. Times that if something exploded in the microwave, you know, oh well. Being able to look at my room and I didn't see like the filth and the grime, and you know, Molly was always really good about keeping the house clean, cooking, making sure the fridge was stocked. These are not little things to me. You guys helped me have private insurance. I've had a car for a good portion of my life, none of which I paid for by myself. You know, I realized too that you guys didn't see me physically go to work every day when I went to work. When I went to work for Powell Unified, you didn't see the days when I came home so exhausted. That job kicked my ass. We were constantly understaffed. We had to have walkie-talkies on us all times. And sometimes we were in situations that could be literally life or death with kids or adults. You know, I worked in a class where, God, I wouldn't have made it long in critical skills. Wouldn't have made it long. Those were the kids that were on being tube fed, kids that were non-ambulatory, kids that needed to be, you know, only fed by a nurse. And Jesus, I don't have any. When people give me credit for having worked in special ed for almost 10 years, I'm like, don't give me credit. Give credit to the people that work with the kids that are emotionally, cognitively stuck at 8 months old and they're 10 years old and they're non-ambulatory and they have cerebral palsy and they almost look like creatures. But to have seen the people that showed up, the uncle that he picked up this kid, Eddie, and I worked with him briefly because the parents didn't want him. The uncle was like, to me, he's kind of like a Shirley Fett type, only on next level. He showed that kid so much love and enthusiasm, and that little kid's eyes lit up. He was elated. These things are life experience things that make it so that even though I don't talk about the stuff with Charlie, with Reed, I'm always keeping tabs on what people are doing, not doing. However, to a point, I feel like the family's never really pushed past the things that I did. But that being said, I've done my best to change things through my behavior. At no point in time have I stolen from you guys. Old me day, had I been left fixing my own surgery so that I could chew cheese or whatever, I would have probably burned this house down, sold half that property in that garage. And then at some point, I would have left here with maybe a row of teeth missing. Maybe I would have gone back to shooting up, camped out in the riverbeds, and probably died that way. Just would have given up. I would have retaliated. I would have gone, fuck you. Like, I used to run away from everything. I didn't know how to handle anything because at one point in time, I was so caught up in this idea that that was who I am, that before the age of 30, that's part of what got me in debt, 30, 40 grand. I spent money because I didn't give a shit if I lived past the age of 30. I figured that I'd probably die before then. I suffered from depression for a long time. I don't look down on myself for those years because you know what? I went through hell with the harassment and discrimination in this town. Going to La Jolla High School was a nightmare. I barely made it out of school alive. I was going to summer school every single year because I had to ditch classes to avoid the constant cruel things that people would say. Lunchtime was the worst. I didn't have a group of friends to sit with. I didn't have a clique. Even Taylor's a fucking asshole. She had her little place to sit at lunchtime. And lunchtime is when everybody congregated together and you like found your people. Me, I didn't have any group that would accept me. The drama kids, even the goth kids, even people I was good friends with in middle school, everything changed in high school. First year at CSU, I found some people to be friends with, but I still dealt with discrimination there. I still dealt with bullying there. Anyway, the point I'm making here is that I get that you guys have your own stuff going on, but like this isn't some minute, small time thing for me. I worry about, this right here is like a little mobile again. This guy, he said, oh, after a year's time, like I'll help you now, but I'm the one left worrying, what am I going to do if my bottom row of teeth don't stick? Because the stuff that Bogerin did, even if he did some stuff right, he caused me permanent, irreversible damage. That's real shit that I had no idea about. And I realized that you did not anticipate that. You did not plan that. You did not cause that, per se. It could have been prevented, though. because it's not normal to let your kid go through surgery with inadequate lidocaine. Hours of drilling when I communicated to him that in both English and Spanish, look, dude, I can feel it, but I just toughed it out. Because guess what? I'm not a pussy. Like, I've been through a lot of painful stuff, and I used to do things on purpose that caused me physical pain. But I'd have tears running down my face, and do my best to picture the ocean, to take myself somewhere else, only to have that motherfucker leaving me with bonding agent all over my face, on my clothes, in my eyes. Jay, I took photos, videos, audio recording. At the beginning, I didn't record so much. It was mainly to track the course of infection, because I could only go off of things that I know that I've already had done. I pillaged through your medicine cabinet, but like, you guys seem to entertain this different thing in your mind that does not reflect reality and things that have actually transpired.
So what do you want me to do?
I want you guys to back off and just, if you can't support me, just please don't be as mean. Don't be as rude. Don't talk to me like I am the problem. When like, you guys have been critical of me, you turned all my siblings against me. You still have never told them like the full truth. That's part of why I couldn't be around Charlie. When you guys started talking about, oh, so this whole year has been about Jessica, bullshit. You may have been present for surgeries, but I was the one stuck driving myself. I was the one stuck teaching myself medicine, surgery. What you don't know also is I was reaching out to the community. I had public documentation begging surgeons, dental assistants, could you please help me figure out how to fix this, or we even just look at it, I'm worried about infections. And I had one post, again, all documented, one post got 2,000 reviews, 2,000 views, one reply. I have been knocking on doors, and you know what? I commend myself for going on and continuing to find a job that I was holding my teeth in the whole time with my top tongue.
Now, this is November, and what are you supposed to do?
Celebrate Thanksgiving.
You're supposed to get your teeth cleaned.
Jay, do you hear yourself?
He recommended that you get your teeth cleaned.
Well, Jay, I'm waiting for something else to fall out before I go back to see him. Besides,
no, he said that you need to get your teeth cleaned.
I know, but Jay, the fact that this row of teeth is mobile again, it's kind of, yeah, I know you don't know, but know this, I don't know what caused you to finally change your mind on letting me see another surgeon, but I had another surgeon that I already painstakingly sought out that had tons of cases of restorative dentistry that was qualified to take on my case. She had credentials. She was American board certified. I had no say in who I got to pick, but at the end of the day, I figured, shit, if I don't jump on this, like, this is what I get to be handless, toothless, living on the street. Like, I don't like trying to be homeless. It's humiliating.
So where are you at now?
I have almost no money. I deal with severe depression. I have PTSD from this stuff because you guys sleep restfully, peacefully. I'm left worrying about this freaking letter. Last thing I need. Someone claiming that I hit their car, hit and run. Having money is a huge...
What is that all about?
I have absolutely no idea, but with my luck, I'm going to call my friend. With my luck, Daddy, I noticed someone hit my car because of damage to my bumper. It's like something sharp.
I saw it. It's a white.
No. There is like a puncture, huge.
I saw it on the back rear.
On my bumper. And I just noticed that a few days ago. However, being that I've let
It's
three...
occurred on October 26th, according to the letter. On Ingram Street.
Either way, I've had so many people hit my bumper that I didn't notice it right away, so I can't account for when I did or did not.
You need to report it to the police because...
Hey, I didn't hit anyone's car. Someone hit me.
Well, it could be. I don't know. But the police have the report.
I know, and I need to get a copy of the police report. That's what because that's... Either way, that's a whole other thing.
Follow the directions. They said we need your insurance.
Daddy, I'm not an idiot. I'm
Have
not.
you already sent all that in?
No, but I don't need you telling me and prompting me and telling me what I should be doing because I'm trying to communicate something to you.
I'm just curious as to whether you've done it.
No,
or
you
not.
start getting. That's a criticism right there, just in case you're not aware.
It's,
Daddy, it's
I mean,
you.
if a police officer sees your car, they will have it towed.
Daddy,
It's that
I'm
simple.
not afraid of the police. I've been harassed by them.
Well, I'm afraid of it because they charge me a lot of money.
Okay,
And
so
I hate
here we
to-
go
I
again.
hate to see all that, go to hell. And,
So right now, in bringing
I've
up the
taken those
car,
cars out of
Daddy,
impound.
right now, in bringing up finances in regards to me talking about my welfare, my health, and my stresses,
Well, if you don't want the car anymore.
no, you
it's
responding,
fine, because the
bringing money.
registration is coming up.
Daddy, you're doing this right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so here's what I'm at.
so you either want the car or you don't.
Okay, so right now it's
Because
starting to
it-
feel like almost like a threat, and this is where I'm going to say I have been very direct in my communication efforts with you guys. What you're not aware of is I traveled to Sacramento with 2 district attorneys who are aware of the stuff that's been going on. It is very documented. I don't want to have to take you guys to court. I'm not going to be homeless in my car. I do not like the idea of
Are you
what.
threatening me?
No, Daddy, I'm telling you.
Are you threatening me?
Daddy.
Is that what you're saying?
Dad, you're threatening me. Do you not hear yourself?
You know what, Jessica?
I am
One of
the
problems
one-
we have is we can't communicate.
Yeah.
You don't listen,
No.
and you don't. All you do
Daddy,
is talk.
you. Okay, right now you're talking. I just said a lot of things.
You're always standing up. You're never giving me eye contact. Why don't you sit down? Like
I'm
an
not
adult
giving you.
and
No,
talk to me?
because you just took it from hearing me and then bringing up things that are going to be expenditures
Jessica,
to the
if we can't
car.
communicate, that there's no more talking.
How am I supposed to communicate with you guys when you guys are kind of in your own little world as far as what has happened so far, Daddy? At no point in time have you or any other member of the
You know
family
what?
been
past
apologetic.
is the past.
No, it's not. Not for me.
The past is the past.
It's for you, yeah.
We have to go ahead with today, this moment, and tomorrow.
Why do you talk to me like I'm a piece of shit when you should be talking
That's
to
not a piece of
Bogren?
shit, that's the
No.
reality.
I'm talking about when you guys make the insinuations like I have some party life, or when you tell me to go apply to Burger King. That is extremely disrespectful to me, just in case you're not aware. What you don't know is that I do research. I would loosely term it research into nonprofit funding. I do research in the consumer
Yeah, but
protection law.
You're not making any money, Jessica.
So what,
Well,
Daddy?
you're making some money somewhere. I don't
Okay,
know how
so
you're
the reasons that I'm the
because you're
person.
dishonest
Okay,
about what you're doing.
nope, you guys are the liars. At the end of the day, you lied to me. I trusted you with helping me with dental stuff. You paid someone that fooled both of us and screwed me over, Daddy. I was left fixing surgery. I was left at times not able to
you do
eat.
not like your teeth.
Daddy, I had
You
permanent
don't
damage.
like the work that's been done.
Daddy, it's not about looking pretty. It's about worrying about permanent things that could fall out in 2 years that I can't afford to fix or replace them. You gave me no options at one point. I went toothless for about 2 months before you even allowed me to switch doctors.
How
For
much
reasons.
did we pay down there, Jessica?
Okay, so Daddy, for you, is love congruent with money? So am I the one?
$45,000.
Am I the one that deserves to
What
be
could I have
abused?
done with $45,000? I didn't have to help you.
That's
I didn't
help,
have to do anything.
Daddy.
Oh, okay, I tortured you. I took you. to
You
this
think it's
butcher.
okay for me to set up drill stations in various motels throughout San Diego and teach myself? You realize how many I started this process with messed up teeth that were broken. I had lost my job. I knew I was going to risk it going to Charlie's wedding. I want to show up for him anyway. Because what you guys don't know is I've been trying to show up for my siblings for years. Only to get rejected, only to have birthday presents sent back, only to have me text Shelly when I moved back to San Diego, hey, you want to go to sushi? Never reply, or oh, I'm at work, or oh, I'm at a pool party. Oh, I'd love to go. Oh, well, you can't afford it. It's $1,000 a head. I have been mistreated by the family and treated with disrespect because I don't make as much money as you guys. But guess what? I have done everything in my power to help my students, to help my clients get off the street, and that's not nothing.
Yeah. Well, you don't
So-
get paid anything.
But who cares? You're not showing me respect because I don't make enough money.
Reality. You are out of reality.
What are you talking about, Daddy?
Your reality is somewhere else.
What? That's where
know
you are
what?
failing to
Everybody
understand.
goes to work and they make a paycheck.
I've been making a
It's
paycheck.
boring. Oh, doing
So-
what?
Oh, you're talking about now?
Yeah.
My life's been on hold because I had medical stuff that I
Well,
have
how
to
do you
wait.
make money?
You know what?
For gas.
How do you know? Why do you care? Did you care when I literally didn't have
You
money?
got a big mask on, Jessica. You are
Daddy,
a liar.
Daddy,
you are a liar.
you're an
and you are
abusive,
dishonest.
You're abusive,
I don't care. Why don't
narcissistic.
you just get the hell out of
Because
here?
I'm not going to be driven in
You
the
know, we
streets.
can't talk, and you don't have any respect for me.
No,
And you know what? You're on your own, kiddo.
am I honest for us?
You might as
What?
well just get the hell out of here.
No, I'm not going to be driven.
I'm tired of talking to you.
See-
Because all you do is think about yourself.
No.
You are eccentric, and all you think about yourself.
Daddy.
And everybody knows that. Everybody in the family knows that.
That's where you
That's all you
guys.
think about. When Reed was here, you were in your fucking room, not doing anything.
Yeah,
You're like
Daddy.
a dumb shit hermit.
Okay.
Get the
Okay.
fuck out
So
of here.
right now you're being abusive, and I don't
You're
appreciate
damn
it.
right. What are you gonna do about it?
What? See,
What are you gonna do about
Daddy,
it?
you're
not getting shit from
you're
me.
a retired
And the
musician.
inheritance, when I die, you're not getting a penny.
Do you think I worry about money?
Because you are fucking a bitch.
Wow. Do you hear yourself? I am not dumb. I'm
Get
not
the
lazy.
fuck out
Nope.
of here,
I will
Jessica.
not be driven to homelessness.
I don't
Daddy.
care. Yeah, get out of here.
Nope.
Just get out of here.
No.
Yeah, because you can't take it. You can't survive on your own. That's the honest truth.
Daddy, no,
Maybe
because
through
I started
prostitution you
this.
can survive. Or sell drugs
You,
with Taylor.
no, you want to go
That's
prostitute.
what you're
Daddy,
doing.
you want to go prostitute yourself? If I was a prostitute, then that makes you my pimp.
Yeah.
Do you really want that on you?
Get the fuck
You
out
drove
of
me to
here.
half my surgeries.
Get out of here.
No, I'm not leaving here.
Well, I'm gonna
Right
let you
now,
lose. I don't wanna hear any
you
more
want
of
to
your
talk
shit.
to me about being honest, about respect? Right
You
now,
are a liar, Jessica.
Daddy, you are a liar.
Yeah.
You can't come to terms with the fact you got taken off. You got
Get-
stopped.
get out of
Why
here.
don't you
Just
sue
get out of my
Bogrid
face.
if you want money,
Get out of
Daddy?
my face. Are you kidding me? You're so full of shit, Jessica.
I'm
you don't know
full
what
of
you're talking
shit.
about. You are really full of
The
shit.
CAT scan
You
is
don't
full
know
of shit.
anything. And you think you know
The
everything.
CAT scan is full of shit, Daddy.
You are full of shit.
You are acting right now. You're showing me physical.
You are incompetent.
You're showing me
You are
physical.
mentally incompetent, intellectually incompetent.